The trouble that I've gone through getting this video. Um, so real quick, first time I forgot to press record, and then the second time I ran out of memory. Cause I was a dum-dum and I forgot to erase my old stuff. Good morning, guys. Hopefully everything is good. Jesus Gallimore, it's a pleasure to do another of these videos. Want to apologize real quick. Past couple of weeks I've been a little bit hairy with events and stuff, so I couldn't upload a new video. But we're back today, hopefully. Real quick before we start, please like, comment, subscribe to this page. I'll be taking out more material often. And if you want to take it a step further, please buy me a coffee. I'll have the link down below. In general, any support would be, excuse me, truly appreciated. And as of late, I've been pretty pleased with the video count, or the view count. I didn't think many people would see it, but hey, baby steps to giant steps. So I really appreciate the support. And once again, please like, comment, subscribe, buy me a coffee. All of that stuff will be appreciated from the bottom of my heart. So thank you. So let's get started with today's topic. In 2018-2019, I wrote a book called Paradiddles, Frameworks, Phrases, and Ideas. The main idea of the book was that at the time, and it probably is still the same today, you would see a lot of these sticking books, which are great. Chafee, Pete Lockett, I think, has one or two, which is a fantastic book as well. A bunch of these. But I didn't see in the market a specific book where you would just get the paradiddle, the double paradiddle, and the triple paradiddle, and then you start mixing and matching different accents and making phrases with all three of those rudiments. That was something that I saw that was sorely lacking, and one of the motivating reasons as to why I wrote this book. On top of that, when the idea was starting to come along in my mind, I recall seeing an Instagram video of one of my favorite drummers in town, David Chipperton. And he played, I don't remember the exact phrase, but it was something like paradiddle and a double paradiddle phrase. I don't exactly remember. But I do remember when I heard that phrase, in my mind I was like, oh, it was these two rudiments. And then that's where my mind started running and racing, and then that's where I started writing PDFs here and there. And then once I saw that I had a good amount of PDFs and the concepts of the book were pretty clear, then that's where I learned Adobe InDesign and the Adobe family of apps, and then 2 and 2 becomes 4. I had the book, self-published it in Amazon, and here we are. So that's a little story about that. But for today, I want to focus on accent options for the single paradiddle and the double paradiddle. So the single paradiddle, we have two accent options. Fairly simple, on the downbeat, and then on the downbeat and on the E, the first upbeat, okay? So number 1 would sound something like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Fairly simple. Okay? And then number 2 is two accents on the singles. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and. Okay? So two accent options. And then really quick, yes, I know there's one more option, and that would be to accent just the upbeat only. But I'm going to cover that on a separate video. Reason being is that when I wrote my second book, Paradiddles, Frameworks, and Phrases, Ideas 2, I actually had a full chapter covered on that. So do not worry, I'll probably cover that sometime later down the line. So now to the main event, double paradiddles. So when I wrote this book, at the time, there was only 8 options that appeared to me. The first one being obvious, yes, the downbeat, and then from numbers 2 to 6 are two accent options put into different spots of the single strokes, and then the final two were three note options, three accent options, three accent note options. Okay, so number one, fairly simple. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so that's number one, fairly simple, right? And now the fun begins. So number two, we have the accent on the first and the second note of the double paradiddle. That would sound something like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Number three, now we're gonna move it to the second and the third. All right, so, and this one is probably my favorite one. The only thing I'll say is just be mindful, since you're not starting the sticking or the rudiment with an accent, so just be mindful of that. So it would sound something like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and then the cycle continues. Number four, the accents are going to be on the third and the fourth note, so it'll sound something like this. Okay, so that's number four. Now, number five is probably one of the more common ways of playing it. So the accent is going to be on the first and the third note of the double paradiddles. Okay, so fairly simple. Probably one of the easier ones, and that'll sound something like this. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Cool. That one's a fun one. That one actually, I gotta get back to work on that one too. So that's a good one to work on. Specific ideas, which I'll get to now. And then finally, number six, for the last of the two accent idea options, we're gonna play on the accent on the downbeat of the rudiment, or sorry, the first note, and then on the fourth one. This one is probably one that you have played a lot. Maybe, perhaps not. Sounds something like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. So with that, we have covered all of our two-note accent options within the single strokes of the double paradiddle. Okay, so let's go to the three-note options. Like I said before, there's only two really. So for the first one of the two, we're gonna have the accent on the start of the double paradiddle, and then on number 3 and number 4. So repeat, number 1, 3, and 4, and that would sound something like this. Okay, and then finally, number 8, we're gonna have the accents on 1, 2, and 4. So the first, the second, and the fourth note of the double paradiddle. Okay, so that would sound something like this. 1, 2, And there we go. And in general, the 3 accent options are, for the most part, a lot harder. So it's not a bad idea to work on those when you can. All right. So that is the list of accent variations and options. So here's a couple of things that you can work on when doing this. And of course, I'll cover this the more that we go on in this series of videos. Stick heights and options. So when to use a downstroke, when to use an upstroke, full strokes, stuff like that. These series of exercises are gonna actually force you to think about those things. So it might be a good idea to, when you start these exercises, slow it down and see where your hands want to go and think about those things. In general, unless there isn't an option, the single stroke before those 2 doubles, I tend to have them as an upstroke. But again, it depends on where the accent is. So that's something you want to consider, because that will drastically help your sound. It will help you sound a lot smoother when you're playing these rhythms, okay? So that's one thing to consider. Another thing, metronome. Always metronome. Because that's going to help you see where your hands are with these rhythms, okay? What else we could think of? Applying it on the drum set. Specifically these 2 accent options. One second. There's so many different ways that you could orchestrate them, right? So once you get comfortable with the practice pad, yeah, first step, put on the snare drum. Or number 3. So once you get comfortable with the snare drum, then yeah, start moving it to the toms. Maybe you want to start something like this, specifically number 2. Or number 3, that one is, again, I said this before, but that's probably my favorite. So or number 4. So yeah, mess around, experiment with it, and see what you could come up with. Maybe there's one where it's giving you trouble, and then you could just stick with that one, just like what happened to me in number 4 right now. That's one I'm gonna work on the drum set, because that's a cool one. So yeah, so just get these and move them on the drum set, because it serves you no value if you could only do it on a practice pad. Everything that you do on a practice pad, you should be able to put it on a snare drum and then move it around freely and really own this kind of stuff. I've said it before in my other videos, probably not, but yeah, you know, whatever you do, whatever you practice, try to own it. So take one of these phrases and just work on it slowly on a practice pad, then the snare drum, and then just hash it out and work it out, okay? So that would be the end of the video. Thank you so much once again. Do not worry, we'll do the triple paradiddle very, very soon. That's another one that's going to be super fun. That is for sure. That one's going to be fun. So once again, thank you so much for checking out the video, checking out this channel. Once again, please like, subscribe to the channel, comment, and if you feel generous, on top of that, buy me a coffee. That would greatly support the channel, myself, and what I want to do with this. One of the main things that I want to do Specifically with the set of videos that I'm gonna start taking out is cover material from my book. So this video is a good stepping stone. Next one we'll probably do triple paradiddles, and then we're gonna start getting into the fun part of mixing and matching, and then I'll be sharing the concepts of the book and stuff like that. Speaking of, if you want to buy the book, go on Amazon. You can find copies of each book fairly cheap. If you want to support a little bit more and shell out a little bit more, I sell the PDF copies. For the first one, I sell it for about $10. And then the second book, I sell it a PDF version for $15. So if you're ever interested in owning just the PDF versions, you can send me a DM on my Instagram or email. Or if you want a physical copy, go on Amazon and cop them. I think they're fairly cheap. Specifically, I know that second book is like $5. I don't know why. There's some shenanigans happening. So, anywho, thank you once again. Hopefully you have a great day, and I'll see you soon, alright? Thank you.